Hello again. Do you remember the first trip that you took by yourself, alone, no friends? Were you still a teenager when you did it? Because that's essentially what Gawain has to face. Here he is, a young teenager, 15, 16 years old, and he has to set off from all of his friends and all of the comforts of his castle and travel a winter landscape through northern Wales, through the mountains, facing wolves and bears and wild men and monsters, all on a quest to find a place he doesn't even know where it exists. Well, that sounds a lot like my first trip to Austin, Texas, when I was a teenager in high school. I think I encountered all of those things on 6th Street when I got there. At any rate, listen to this. When he leaves his castle, where the food that he fancied was far from his plate, he had no mate but his mount over mountain and plain. He's gonna miss that Velveeta and cheese. Many a cliff must he climb in country wild, far off from all his friends. Forlorn he must ride. Notice the emphasis on the isolation. He's all by himself out there, and he's riding to his death, or at least he feels that he is riding to his imminent death. And he's wearing armor, for goodness sake. So, when he reaches the point that he's just about to break, 3 days before his presumed meeting with the Green Knight, he falls down on his knees, closes his eyes, says a prayer, crosses himself 3 times, opens his eyes, and lo and behold, just what he wishes for appears. Now, if he were older, he would probably be suspicious, but as a young man, he's relieved. He sees this beautiful castle surrounded by green in the middle of winter, goes to the door, and all he wants is a warm bed and maybe a place to thaw out. But we all know that he gets a lot more than that. Bertilac, the Haut-Dessert, who is the baron of the castle, welcomes him in, couldn't be friendlier, laughs, jokes, shakes his hand, and says, "Hey, you're going to be here for about 3 days. Why don't we play a game? Let's exchange gifts for the next 3 days. I'm going to be busy. I'm going to be out riding every day, hunting with my friends. But you just stay here and catch up on your sleep, because you've been pretty busy traveling across a fairly rough terrain." Again, if Gawain were 18 or 21, he might think, what's the catch here? What am I supposed to get during the day while I'm lying around here? Well, he agrees. He doesn't want to be rude. Remember, Gawain's a polite fellow. And so he sets himself up for now a different kind of exchange. Not an exchange of blows, but an exchange of gifts. So we'll let Gawain go in that castle. We'll let him get all warm and cozy and climb into that bed under 9 or 10 quilts and go to sleep. I'm sure he rested pretty well that first night. But we know that he's going to get a whole lot more than he bargained for. But we'll save that for another conversation.